her leased Mercedes convertible. She slid behind the wheel and cranked Spotify on the radio as she eased into traffic toward L.A. and Rodeo Drive. The second song on her and Landon's playlist had just ended when her cell phone rang, and she answered via Bluetooth. "Jen!" Jen, her best friend since middle school, shouted, "Happy birthday, Rayne!" "Thanks, hon. But you just saw me last night for drinks." They'd had a lot of fun with her other girlfriends, dancing and partying away the last night of Rayne being 29. "I just wanted to wish you luck today. You and Landon deserve this opportunity more than anybody else I know. Each sketch of a modern lace gown is done by you. Did you bring your portfolio?" "You know I did." Her sketch pad never left her tote bag. "You're the sweetest, Jen." Rayne couldn't stop grinning. She imagined the bankers in power suits offering her and Landon an astronomical sum as they gushed over the profit potential, then a celebratory dinner later, alone with Landon and a bucket of champagne. She'd kept the evening free for her boo. She was hopeful that there would be even more to celebrate, and glanced at her manicured but naked ring finger. This could be the night. "This is your year, Rayne McGrath. You know I know these things." Laughing, Rayne checked the side mirrors, signaled, and exited the freeway. For once, the fender-to-bumper traffic didn't bother her. There was too much to be happy about. "You're right about 50% of the time, Jen." Jen giggled. "Shoot me a text to let me know how the lunch goes, all right? You got it. Bye." She ended the call with a press of a button on the steering wheel. Her car was the latest model. Image was everything in L.A., and she and Landon, as marketing experts, lived accordingly. They'd coordinated outfits to make a confident statement to the banker. She would be in dove gray, and he'd be in coal with dove gray piping on his suit. Landon was blonde to her dark, and they made a striking pair when they went out together. She had the niggling feeling that Landon never would have asked her out that night at the club a year ago if she hadn't been a compliment to his carefully groomed image. She set that thought aside. Rayne parked on a side street and walked to Modern Lace Bridal Boutique, their tiny but strategically located shop. Silhouettes of wedding gowns were painted on the front window, utilizing each inch of ad space on this prime shopping street. She pulled out her glittery gold key fob and put the key in the lock. Or tried to. It was jammed with something. Ugh! Rayne took off her Chanel sunglasses and peered at what seemed to be a screw broken inside the lock. Vandals? She shaded her eyes and stared into the dim shop, but couldn't see anything out of place. The clothing stores on either side didn't open until 10. She and Landon had planned on meeting early, 8 sharp, to rehearse last-minute details of the power lunch, and he wasn't here yet. With only a front entrance, they'd need to call a locksmith to get inside. She took out her cell phone and dialed his number. It went to voicemail. "Hey, babe, it's Rayne. We have a situation." Rayne paced the sidewalk, thinking he'd arrive any minute with lattes ready to brainstorm. She spoke with a locksmith while she waited. 15 minutes passed, and she grew even more alarmed. Landon was never late. Half an hour? It was cause to worry. The highways in L.A. were notorious for being death traps. 6 months ago, Landon had been in an accident that had totaled his car. He'd been all right, a mild concussion, but talk about scary. Driving to work on these roads was like maneuvering through a live minefield. "Can't just stand here," she muttered, feeling powerless. What if he was broken down somewhere? She decided to drive to Landon's, taking the route he normally would. Rayne kept dialing his number. There was an accident on the side of the highway about halfway between Rodeo Drive and his place on the hill. She slowed, but breathed out in relief when it was a black Nissan, not Landon's BMW. Rayne hurried toward his house, now afraid he'd overslept. He strove for perfection, and any mistake would set the wrong tone for their lunch. She pulled up in front of a modern 2-bedroom bungalow with an attached carport. His car wasn't in the driveway. She swallowed, and the action scratched her dry throat. After a sip from her water bottle, she climbed out of her Mercedes.